So what's going on, everybody? My name is Michael. I got saved when I was 27. I've been on quite a walk with the Lord. Through a lot of things that I've been through, when I got saved, I was extremely on fire until I realized that, you know, every conversation with everybody can't be about God because it'll make you seem a little weird. But there's some things that the Lord has shown me that I feel like some Christians do need to understand because it helped me throughout my journey. And I feel like the Lord, put it on my heart to share it. So yeah, here goes. So, everybody loves to look religious. People love the image, the singing, the serving, the giving. But God did say in 1 Samuel 15:22, to obey is better than sacrifice. And that really hit me hard because I was struggling with lust and things like that. Getting saved later in my life at 27. I lived in New York. I was a jock. So it was just like kind of being a ladies' man growing up like that. When I got saved, it felt like, man, why am I struggling with this? Like, what's wrong with me? I feel like I'm not walking, because in my mind, sacrifice was obedience. I didn't understand the difference, right? But when you fully understand the difference, it makes the walk feel better, So like the reason why I was actually able to see it was I've known people who look the part. I've a recent relationship. Grew up church every week, super holy. Works in ministry, all of that. Saying the right things. But and I should have seen it as a red flag in the beginning, but when you discuss things with an individual and you start asking, when'd you get saved? Da 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 da. You start looking for the fruit, right? So you understand it's like, okay, well, they told me that they're a tree, or they're, however you want to word it, a garden, I don't know, however. But, that they're capable of fruit, because if you're not saved, then clearly you're not capable of the fruit that we're talking about, right? And when I looked for the fruit, I didn't see anything. And that convicted me because I realized how easy it is to look Christian without living Christian. That was God reminding me, don't confuse performance with obedience, right? Because later on, that same person who I had gotten, into a relationship with ended up flipping the script on me. You know what I'm saying? Due to ways that they thought life wasn't going, or I wasn't up to the speed that they wanted to do things, or what have you, and it was just like super, demon mode. And yeah, I'm not trying to get off track or anything, but basically sacrifice is what people see, all right? Obedience is what God sees. Anybody can drop money in the plate, post a verse, or show up to church. But if you're living in disobedience behind closed doors, pardon me, God's not impressed with the show, right? So if you think that you're like, I'm abstaining from sex, I'm not drinking, I'm not smoking, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing that, da 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 da. Okay. Have you changed at all? Are you treating people different? Are you trying to spread the gospel? Are you forgiving people? Are you, you know what I'm saying? Those are the things that are obedience. That's the obedience. The sacrifice is the show, right? Once again, Samuel 15:22, to obey is better than sacrifice. And that hit me hard because I was just like, wait, was I kind of doing it a little different, you know? So the one thing I do want to point out though is discernment does matter. And where discernment comes in is some people think that discernment means being cold or judgmental, but discernment doesn't mean you absorb everything at face value. God actually calls us to test the fruit. Jesus said, by their fruits you shall know them. Discernment is love with wisdom. It protects you and it keeps you from being fooled by appearance. Now, the modern version of Saul's mistake, King Saul thought that he was slick. God told him to destroy everything from the Amalekites, but he saved the best animals to sacrifice to the Lord. Sounds holy, right? But God wasn't impressed. He'd rather have Saul's obedience than his big public sacrifice. And today it's the same. You can sing, preach, tithe, and still miss God if you're ignoring his voice. And just the last thing I want to close with, because this is my first video, hopefully it does reach people and you're able to get something from it. And I'm not just ranting. As I go on, I'll be more concise, and I'll be a little bit more polished, I guess. But I just want to close out with, so here's the question. Are you giving God what he asked for, your obedience, or are you just handing him what looks good, your sacrifice? Because at the end of the day, obedience backed by discernment is the real fruit that proves your love for him. Everything else is just noise. Sacrifice is not obedience, but true obedience leads to sacrifice. So if you're being obedient but you're still struggling with the sacrifice, it's okay. God says, come as you are. God bless you.